I think if you can say that you've said no to deals, that's the best way to gauge whether or not you've got an authentic voice, because you're saying no to things that don't fit who you are. It's very easy to say yes to something, but have you said no to something because it doesn't fit you? And if you can say that I've said no to something because it doesn't fit me, you know that you're in this kind of bordered area of when you say yes and when you say no. A lot of people don't have the decision-making process of when do they say no. That's not just financially driven.
Before we dive into the conversation with Darren, we need to start with a quick disclaimer. This video provides general financial education and is not personalized investment advice or a solicitation for advisory services. Please consult with a qualified professional for advice tailored for your situation. Any references to specific securities, products, or strategies do not constitute a recommendation or endorsement. Whenever we met was kind of the height of the Web3, mania back in 2021 or 2020. Yeah, 2021. And then dipped into a pretty severe market within that industry. What was that like, working with talent within an industry that was kind of collapsing in some regards?
My sense of humor is very dry, so sometimes I'll make remarks and I don't actually believe what I'm saying. I'm just kind of pointing out the obvious in a comedic way. But like, Bryson and I lost out on a lot of money, that's for sure. But we just had morals. I think that was our big aspect of, I think, why we're coming out of Web3 still with like our head held high and like our chest still up. I mean, it was fun. It was very energetic. I think it's, the macro world of we're getting into Web3, but also like we're all hunkered down in our basement. Like it was just a weird time to be living back then. Then you've got this brand new technology, which in any other instance, new technology is just new technology. We've engaged with new technology, but the fact that it was a financial instrument that could have financial tools and assets built on top of it, and everybody has more time on their hands than they've ever had before, and 100% of their life is built digitally, it's a analogy for the world. You're going to have a lot of good stuff that's going on, and you're going to have a lot of bad stuff that's going on, and it's really difficult to sniff through it if you don't have good intuition and good instinct. So, I think Bryson and I, if we, the classic, if we shared our group text, we'd probably be canceled thing. I don't think we'd be canceled. I think it would be like, we knew a lot of the hucksters and characters in the space of like the companies, the chains, the games, the projects, and all of that. And like, I think it was every single dinner that Bryson and I ever had in person, a good majority of that dinner was basically trying to answer the question of like, how are these companies, businesses, and projects making money and operating? I never understood it. And I like tried to ask as many questions as I could to people, but it's like, I never understood it. And we did good projects and had really awesome work and like did our best for our role and responsibility in our partnerships. But I've always had a level of question regarding 98.5% of Web3. And it's like seeing what's happening now into the marketplace. I'm not surprised at all, to be honest with you. I saw it coming. I didn't think it would just all of a sudden collapse, but I'm not surprised at all, especially from the game side. Seems like every other day there's a game that's falling apart. There's a, NFT project that has been dormant for the last 6 months, or that makes a post and says the team is disbanding. We love all you guys, but our celebrity yacht tour around the world are now ending. And that was their whole business model. So it was fun while it lasted. It seems like it was ages ago when it was just a couple of years ago. But my long-winded answer to say I'm very happy that it's over.
So take me into maybe some of the conversations, because you are very long-term focused. You don't think in days, weeks, months. You think in years, decades. When you're representing a brand, the brand of Bryson, the brand of Clicks, the brand of Booga, you really step into kind of a unique position. You're not really an agent. You're not just managing talent. You're kind of an advisor on all things marketing and branding. How do you balance the difficulty of trying to maintain, and I know that you hate the word authentic, but the voice of a creator? How do you balance the voice of the creator and who they are as a person, what they're interested in, what they want to talk about, the games that they want to play, with the commercial aspect of, hey, they also need to get paid. You also need to get paid. When everything around you, or 98.5% in using your words, is not worth pursuing, even though there was an enormous amount of money on the table, I'm assuming. And so, like, how do you balance that in those moments um, to really stay true to who you are? I mean, Vayner as a brand, obviously, uh, there's some momentum behind that. But yeah, take me into your thought process when going through those moments.
I feel like the Web3 answer that I have just has an asterisk because there was so many financial vehicles. So that was the big question
Sure.
mark around promoting a financial asset that people have to purchase. And they're not just purchasing something like, and it has some level of an expiration date. They're purchasing something for the hope and investment that it goes up in value. That's what so many of these deals were revolved around because it was building on the momentum of FOMO. The entire industry was built on FOMO. Nobody gave a shit about the actual design or the artwork or the game. They were purchasing assets for the future appreciation of those assets. So that's what the entire industry for those 24 to 36 months were built off of. So that's why we lost so much money, is because we took and it was an easy decision. We never second guessed it. It was just crazy to see how many other people were not taking that route of, we're not going to promote a coin, a token ICO launch. We're not going to promote an NFT project, mint of something. Like, we're not selling assets. We're playing video games. We're entertaining people. If there were opportunities in these projects, of course, there's financial opportunities for a player base or a consumer, but we were not directly promoting the fact that you got to go out and get this thing because it's the best thing. Like, we never did that. And so many people did that. And then nobody disclosed that they were getting paid to do it. I mean, that's this whole kind of stinky industry that we
Yeah.
were a part of. So it was easy for us that way. Video game entertainment, I think, is, again, there's a price for everything. Would Bryson play that game just naturally on his own that Thursday and Friday for 3 hours? No. But if you pay him to do it, he'd be happy to showcase to more people what this game is. It doesn't have to be his favorite game, but that's not him not being authentic. That's him being a creator, getting introduced to something, liking it enough to be able to tell people about it, and taking your fee to do that based on the media and brand that you've created around gaming or whatever that niche of topic is. So again, I don't have a yes or no, black or white, up or down, left or right answer, but it's kind of like finding the median in between. And that's clicks, that's booga, that's mongrel, that's whatever it is. But the difference with Web3 is that everything was a financial vehicle and an asset that was promoting appreciation. That that was easy to say no to. So hopefully that answered your question around like the authentic voice. I mean, the easiest way to find great partners, and like a lot of Bryson's opportunities were built around projects and games, because that's all these games were trying to get media content, influencers to play it, community, yada, yada, yada. When you get into the other side of just like a consumer brand that wants to do a partnership with a creator, every partner that my clients have is something that either they were already doing or that they were looking to do, which is really exciting. And are there one-off opportunities that we get with just like a QSR brand that's doing something? Of course. And money talks. Not going to say someone wants to throw us a lot of money to promote something. We're not going to, look at it, but we're not promoting anything that's, gross, stinky, trying to dupe people into doing something. And then we get to like, that's not what it is. We're going to promote a burger and we don't actually love that burger. Are we duping people? I don't think we're duping people. We're just getting paid to promote. Like, that to me is so like lowbrow, humorous. So I think as long as the majority of the stuff that you're doing is something that you would want to do anyways, now you've just found a partner to bring it to life. That's how you build successful brand partnerships. I think if you can say that you've said no to deals, that's the best way to gauge whether or not you've got an authentic voice, because you're saying no to things that don't fit who you are. It's very easy to say yes to something, but have you said no to something because it doesn't fit you? And if you can say that I've said no to something because it doesn't fit me, you know that you're in this kind of bordered area of when you say yes and when you say no. A lot of people don't have the decision-making process of when do they say no. That's not just financially driven.
Yeah, let's dive into that a bit. So we've both worked with creators for years and years, and we've seen plenty of creators take deals that they probably shouldn't, where it's announced and you're just like, wow, that doesn't really make sense for them, what they're doing in their community. And I can't imagine that that really makes sense for the brand either. I can't imagine that click-through rates or purchases of certain products are doing all that well for some creators, or at least some creator product pairs. And so what would be your advice to creators? 'Cause many of them have not been in positions where they're negotiating with brands. Many of them are, um, they don't have the
Right.
representation that your creators do. And so what would be your advice to creators who are at the stage where they're growing, they're getting these opportunities, they need to, I don't know, be able to pay their bills, but also they don't want to make poor brand decisions for themselves. What would be your advice for those creators?
I would, whether you have, if you don't have management at all, which sometimes is part of the problem because the creator never gets to interface with the brand or the agency, which I think also kind of adds to the complexity and sometimes the negative outcomes for partnerships. If you don't have representation, I think you have to figure out how to kind of turn a switch on in your head that when you're talking with a brand or an agency, you're not the creator anymore. You kind of have to like, it's your innie and your outie from the severance angle, because we were just talking about that. Like you have to kind of become the representative of the creator, and you have to somehow, one, get your pitch down. Like you're pitching yourself, but you're pitching your creator self. And two, you really have to pitch the idea that you know your community, and you should be asking for the expectation that the brand has of what does the brand see as successful? What would be in the brand's eyes, what would you deem a successful campaign? That if I did X, Y, and Z, then you would be really happy about that. What does that look like? And you should almost think of yourself as an in-house creative agency that says, okay, again, unsponsored, but like, hello, I'm ugly. And these dried fruit sliced peaches that I'm eating right here, they wanted me to be ambassador and do a Twitch stream for them or do an Instagram video or a YouTube video, whatever it might be. It's like, what are they trying to promote? Is it just a new product? And it's like, what's the brand? Like, hello, I'm ugly is kind of funny. Like starting to lean into like, what is the brand? Are they, do they want to be more comedic and humorous? Is it more inspirational? Are they an aspirational brand? Like asking these styles of questions as an in-house creative agency will then give you the insight that you need in order to then go back to your drawing board after the call and say, for our next call, pitch and present your idea. Okay, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up and I'm going to look ugly and I'm going to be proud about it. And I'm going to walk around with peaches on my face and people are going to make fun of me, but I'm going to dine, like whatever the idea is, you have to pitch the idea. And I think there's this world of word gets around fast in the creator economy. If you're good to work with or you're bad to work with, the more creative that you can get and the more of your content that you want to make gets bought and approved for you to do, the more organic and authentic that content is going to look on your platform, so that you're not simply just saying, hello, I'm ugly, buy these peaches today, like a podcast ad read. It's becoming like an original piece of content on the internet. So the world is moving to original content. I should be able to watch a video and not really know if it's a sponsored piece of content and an ad, or if it's just a really fun piece of content that I'm consuming as entertainment. Gary just had a great post today, and he's been saying it for a while now, even offline. And now I could see him starting to pump it out into the ether of social. But we're moving into this world that's not social media, it's attention and interest media. Like, what are you interested in? That content is going to get purpose to you. I can have 1 million followers and you have 100, and your video might get more views than mine does because of the interest graph of the style and skill of content. We're moving forward now into a world of AI automation tools to make and edit and create and cut and act as almost a content strategist that's literally at the finger and keyboard and mouse of creators. So you think of the skill that it takes to make great content. You just have to get the approval that that content is something that you can make, and it will perform well. And that flywheel is going to start to work when you can then sit down with brands and agencies and say, I would love to work with you. I love the product. Here's what I'm thinking and what I want to make. I know you want me to do this, but let me zhuzh it up a little bit because I think this is going to perform well. And here's why. Here's some examples of past content that have performed well when I do this. I think you play well into X, Y, and Z. Like, I think what we're going through right now is this transitional period that influencers and the creator economy has been, I don't want to say what's the word that I'm trying to think of, but like there's been a spotlight and a narrative on just how easy it is to just like make money being a creator, and you just promote all these brands and you make money, and like being a creator is easy. And it's not. It's really difficult because up to the point, you and I are creators on the internet. We're in the same algorithm as Clicks and Mongrel and Booga, in this interest-based algorithm. So it's really difficult to make money. So you have to be good at it. It's a skill, and it's really difficult because my one post that got 1 million when I did the peaches one, my next one for the dried cherries is only going to get 5,000. And it's like, why? Why did that happen? That's really frustrating and difficult. But as long as you've got your T's crossed and your I's dotted for your strategy of why you did what you did, you had all the justification that it should have worked, whatever it might be, you're transparent enough to showcase to brands that you're thinking creatively, you'll be successful. But it's really difficult. It's not easy to have good performing content. It's easy to make content, but to have good performing content and then figure out how to put a brand into that good performing content that then creates an outcome that the brand deems as successful, that's really difficult to sustain a living that way. And that's just the honest truth. But it's possible and doable. It just takes a lot of to me, it's like the intangibles that creators don't have that they need to figure out how to have. That's like, show me the 3 meetings that you have before that you're really trying to create the best possible, best performing content, rather than just saying yes or no, or I want more money, or sure, I'll do. Like, it shouldn't be a black and white conversation in an email thread. Like, if your only thing is how much money you want for it, you're already going down the wrong pathway because you're thinking about the creator economy to transaction.
If you enjoyed this segment, be sure to check out the full conversation that I had with Darren Glover. I'll leave a link down in the description to the full video. If you like this video, I would genuinely appreciate a like on the video and subscribe to see more content like it. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next video.